Hello, welcome back to my channel. It's Kanisha. If you're new around here, I create content on business, career, lifestyle and general chit chat videos. So if you'd like to join my journey, go ahead and hit the subscribe button over here. So today's video is all about my summer internship at Google that took place in summer 2019. I thought it'd be really interesting to talk about it in case it might inspire you, inform you, or just fulfill your curiosity. So the first thing that I want to be talking about is the application process. So I first got involved with Google through their Top Black Talent program in November 2018. So this is a diversity initiative program that is aimed for young Black professionals or students. And the idea is that they invite these individuals to the Google headquarters where they can educate them on Google products, services and what they have on offer, inform them on opportunities that they might have career-wise, so whether that's the internship or a full-time role, and just allow them to network and to meet each other and other Googlers so that they can build their network. And so I came across this opportunity via Bright Network and it was so straightforward. Like I think it literally took me about 10 minutes to do the application, and because I didn't really think that I'd get picked, it's not something that I thought about a lot afterwards. And so it was to my surprise that I did get accepted onto the program. I think overall I had a really good experience when it came to the Top Black Talent program. I remember leaving the building feeling incredibly inspired and motivated to wanting to pursue further opportunities with Google, but also feeling really empowered because there was Black content creators that came from YouTube to talk to us. We had a guest speaker, and just hearing the stories from Googlers themselves really lit a fire within me, as cliche as it sounds. But honestly, I think representation and being exposed to where you want to be can do so much for you. So after the end of this program, they did ask if it was okay for them to keep our resumes on file, and I opted in for that. And what this meant for me was that a recruiter actually reached out to me around March 2019 regarding a potential opportunity for me. This opportunity was a business role. The official title is a new business strategist for the Kickstart Plus team, and this would be based in their Dublin offices. So I immediately was like, yes, I love the sound of this. I think it's something that I'd be really interested in. And it was a challenging role that I was willing to step up to and to develop my skills further. So after I expressed my interest for this role, we scheduled an informal interview where she just got to learn a bit more about myself. I got to expand on my CV and really learn more about the opportunity that was open at the time. So this went well, and I actually got to learn a lot about the opportunity and the organisation. After the success of that first interview, I was then invited to have 2 interviews with team members, so the hiring manager and a member of the team. I remember these interviews were scheduled to happen over video call as they were based in Dublin and I was here in the UK. So these 2 interviews were meant to take place on the same day and via video call. And I don't know if it's just me and my luck, but literally 5 minutes to go before the start of the first interview, my video would not work. So I was literally clicking on the link so many times, my video wouldn't work, and I was starting to panic because I had 5 minutes to go. So I sent them an email to explain what's happening, and they got back to me about 10 minutes later. So this was 5 minutes into my interview time, and I was a mess. I was like, oh my gosh, I've blown it, my big shot to getting this internship, I ruined it, and I'm applying for a technology company and my technology is not working. Like they're just gonna suspect that I'm just not right for the role. Like I was just panic central. But luckily they got back to me to say that we can just do it as a phone interview instead, and ooh, that was a relief. But then I was like, wait, so if I do it as a phone interview, all they're gonna hear is just my voice. They're not gonna be able to see my facial expressions or the added little things that make, you know, more personable. They didn't get that. So I was just like, my answers are just going to have to be 10 out of 10. So I was just like trying to remember what my experiences were. But anyway, fast forward to getting a response back from those interviews, and my recruiter said that they were successful. And once the feedback from that was really good, she then had to compile together sort of like an information packet that would then be presented to the hiring committee. And this was then how they'd make a decision over whether I would get the internship. That took probably like another week and a half to 2 weeks before finding out the results from that. And the results were good, it was successful. But I think the one thing that I tried to do throughout the whole process was just to celebrate each of the steps. And to be able to get as far as first interview out of the thousands of applications that go into Google means a lot. So I really just celebrated each and every step of that journey. One thing people wonder a lot is, do they support you? So when it comes to relocating, they are very supportive, because I think as Dublin, for example, is very expat heavy. They have a lot of people that are coming from outside of Ireland to work for them. So they've got a really good supportive system in place where they can let you know where to look for accommodation. They provide relocation stipend, like all the things that you need to make your transition to a new country smoother. They let you know, and they create a community for that. So either Googlers might advertise an available room in their flat, so you can find out about that. Or another thing that they did that I thought was really good was we had a Facebook intern group. So this was a chance for us to ask each other questions, to start to get to know each other and to build like friendships from that. So that was also really nice. And then fast forward again to when I actually got to Dublin and my start date. So we started off with a 2-day orientation, and this was a chance for us to meet other interns, full-time Googlers that were starting at the same time as us, and for us to do the basic like onboarding. So that's the laptops, the getting our necessary equipment, finding out about working in Ireland, working for the company, bank accounts, all the things that you need to really establish, you know, life in a new country, new city, and a new role. We did that within those first 2 days, so that was very like jam-packed. A lot of things getting sorted out, whether it was taxing, opening bank accounts, all those nitty-gritties. We ironed them out in the first 2 days. And then after those 2 days, we then had a chance to actually be able to meet members of our new team. We each got assigned a buddy who was there to support us for the duration of our time at the internship. And they introduced us to our team members, and we got to grips to where we, you know, our desk space, and start to settle in within that first week. Another thing that took place for me in my first week was actually to have meetings with my manager to establish what the next few months were going to be like for me, establish any expectations that she had for me, and how I would split my time accordingly over those 3 months. So for my personal time split was that I'd spend 50% of my time on my full-time role, 25% of my time networking, so meeting, going for coffees with other people in different teams, finding out about the different functions of an organisation, and the other 25% was to be spent on my personal project, which I'd work on over the course of the 3 months and present at the very end. And so every intern is given a project that they work on, and it can be specific to your market, it can be specific to your team. It's all quite different, which creates for a nice like variety. So after we established this, it was just a case of now doing all the training necessary. So for most sales roles and most business roles, you have to do a lot of training. And this is fantastic because it really ramps you up to a full-time role. And by midway, you are hopefully completing work to the same level as your peers are who will have full-time roles. So I think that was really awesome. It's like you are getting trained to take on real responsibilities at some point in your internship. And this is another way that they can assess you and see how well you pick up to these new tasks and roles. Fast forward a few more weeks, we then had a midpoint evaluation. So this is a chance for you to sit down with your manager and talk about what the last month and a half has been like for you. So you talk about your targets that you'd set at the beginning, see where you are with them, and if there are areas of improvement, you establish that then so that you can have something to focus on in your last month and a half. And so it was good to touch base to see where I was at, ask any questions, and to set my own personal goals so that by the end, if you are hoping for conversion, you can really make sure you hit those on the head and feel prepared for that. And between the midpoint evaluation and your final feedback, you're working on your project, you're working on your full-time role, and I was also making sure that I was networking and meeting other people so that I could learn about their roles and what they do. So this really helped build my understanding of different opportunities that were available within the organisation and how our team within onboarding interacted with the wider business. So that was quite nice. And then in our final feedback, that is a chance for you to actually reflect on the last 3 months of your internship, the things that you've learned, your targets, your things that you've achieved. And it's really a chance for you to show why you should be converted for a full-time role. So having spoken about my application process, what the general structure of the internship was like, and like an overview of the past few months, a lot of people tend to be quite curious on what the work perks are, and it's, I'd say 99% true. I'd say 90% true on what they say. So whether it's like the free food, the snacks, the gym, the swimming pool, like there's a lot of amazing benefits that you get from working there, and it made for our summer experience really unforgettable. And the people that you meet there, you know, potentially become your lifelong friends. Like, I've definitely made connections and friendships with people that I'm still in touch with up until now. And one of the things that I really wanted to emphasize with the video and to show that for me personally, I did not study at a Russell Group university, so I wasn't at Cambridge, I wasn't at Oxford. And sometimes it may feel like you need to be at the top universities to get, you know, really incredible opportunities, but that is not the case. And same goes for representation and showing, you know, people like me are in the organisation and they are flourishing, and so that is possible for you, and that shouldn't stop you from applying for opportunities, because you have no idea where this can lead you. Like, if I had from the very beginning decided not to send in my application for the Top Black Talent Programme, I don't think my journey would have happened. And so I really just want to encourage you to go for opportunities, really seize them and make the most out of them, because you have no idea what you're going to get from them. And I think, you know, that is where we learn the most, is in challenging situations. So yeah, so that's my encouragement. I hope this video has provided you with a lot of information about the summer internships, what you can expect. And if you have any more questions, please don't hesitate to shoot them below in the comments. I'd be more than happy to answer them for you, and I hope it helps. So yeah, so thank you so much for watching this video. I'll catch you in the next one.